Hey, so this is basically the rough video. I wanted to get y'all's feedback first and see if there's any improvements. I definitely don't have the technology to do video editing, so pretty much it's gonna be the best raw cuts that I can work out. Um, so there was definitely an expressed concern over the lack of understanding on how some of these coils work and how some of the newer devices work. Um, why some are coming in at 1.4, some are coming at zero point 0.6, and they all say whether it's PMP or GTX. So I wanted to break this down, and since realizing that not only do we have store leads not knowing this, we also have the employees not really knowing this information. Um, and if they are, they're researching it on themselves, and just because we have one employee that knows it in a store doesn't mean that the rest of them are. We definitely need to all be on the same page, as I feel that the best way to get rapport with customers is going to be our knowledge. If we are intelligent and able to showcase and talk about our products, uh, they want to come back to us because we're going to be a source of information from them that they can speak to in person and get answers. um, so, with this video, the next one that I would actually do without all of this would just be doing what I'm going to do now, which is breaking down how the PM30 and the PM80 works and what all these GTX coils mean. There's a bunch. There's a zero point 0.2, zero point 0.3, zero point 0.6, 1.2, mesh, non-mesh. So here's the basics of it. Vapor also likes to keep things simple. So this GTX coil is going to work in both their PM30 and the PM80. All the coils go into the pods right here, and are interchangeable with each other for a few reasons. One, they don't believe in waste product. They don't want to see coils just sitting in corners like we have with SMOC. So they try to make their newer devices run on the older technology, so that way they're not wasting so much. They don't have to keep making up new coils. They can stick with what's already good. The PNP also has this technology as well. They have a zero point 0.6 and a 1.4. The reason why these devices have these different resistance in coils is so that way the user doesn't have to come back and buy another device when they want to lower their nicotine. These vapes are meant to lower nicotine intake. So if they're starting off at 50 because of Juul, because of cigarettes, whatever the case may be, we want to get them down. We don't want to get them up. So there's two ways that this can happen. You take a device like this and you can put it into a newer coil that's going to be lower wattage, which is going to mean, or lower resistance, which is going to be higher wattage, and with that, that's going to matter on how much output there is. So if you have someone sitting with this device being told that it's a salt nick device, and they just go in and ask for a GTX coil, and they get this sucker that's a 32 to 45 watt, and they put a salt nick in here, they're getting 32 to 45 watts of salt nick intake. That's typically reserved for the freebase. That's a lot of nicotine. We don't want them going to that high. They got to stick to the 1.2s, the 1.4s, the ones that are higher in resistance and therefore lower in wattage. The highest wattage I've ever seen any salt nick is going to be 20 watts. That's pretty much the max that you should go with. That's a lot of nicotine that you're intaking. But that's why the difference is there. So you can start off with your 1.4 and have your 50 milligrams and start to go down to a 25 milligram. And then when you're ready for the freebase to go down to the 12, 6, 3, etc., you don't have to buy a new device. You buy a new coil. And you buy the coil that is going to give you the most resistance, or the less resistance, so you can get the most wattage, so that way you're still getting a good amount of nicotine. And then they can start to play around with how much wattages they want to have. Even myself, I varied. You guys know that I went extremely high, even hitting the Valerian at 120. To now, I'm at a lower device. So here's how this works. This one's a SaltNick device. Simple to use. It hit on the blue setting. There's 3 settings: low, medium, high. We all kind of know what that's gonna go for. And then you have this device, the PM30 or the PM80. Now, as you can see, a little bit hard, but that wattage right there does say best 7 to 12. There is a SaltNick coil in here. All right, so this one is completely SaltNick. However, it was bought with all the intents and purposes of being a freebase coil. It does provide more room, since it holds more liquid, and a longer battery life. So this is better to go than, say, this one. So those are the differences between those. So we really need to understand the coils, the resistance, the wattage, the interchangeability, the reason why this is a good thing. It's better for customers to not have to repurchase devices, and when we present that option to them, they're more likely to stay with us because we're not pushing things upon them. Like, okay, yeah, you're gonna have to spend this much, and then, when you go down, you're gonna have to spend this much. Instead, it builds that rapport of the kid you wanted to be in the first video. It builds that rapport of, I'm not trying to grab you for every nickel and dime you have, because guess who they're gonna come back to for their coils, and guess who they're gonna come back to for their juices? Us. When they want a new device, who are they gonna come back to? Us. And it's that consistent customer basis that we want. And if we don't have this knowledge, if we're not able to present ourselves as knowledgeable in these products, it's not going to motivate customers to buy. So we definitely need to get these videos out to the employees. Obviously, it's not going to be as direct as this, as I'm talking with you guys. It's going to be a more formal training video. But I did want to get a first run. This is the first take, so I'm actually proud of how this kind of came out. But yeah, so that's the rundown on the Target PM30 and the PM80. The Nord does the same thing: 0.6, 1.4, one's for Freebase, one's for SaltNick. PMP, I have 0.6 at South Beach. I don't have any for SaltNick. That's 1.2 or 4. So these are kind of things, as these companies are making what I call these baby devices, we got to keep up with the trends. And we got to know why these baby devices are being made exactly, and it's really for the benefit of the customer. Kitty, you're not wanted right now. So yeah, I think knowing all this information is best. This would just be one example of a breakdown. I can further go into mesh and non-mesh, and how one provides more flavor where the other one's not. Some people want a lot of flavor, some people don't like the flavor too much and they don't want to taste it anymore. So yeah, this is a normal run. It's at about 8 minutes and 50 seconds now. So yeah, the other ones would be a little bit shorter without all the before and after talk. So I could keep it to 5 minutes, most likely. But yeah, let me know if there's any more that I can do, or figure out, or talk about, or whatever. I'm open to suggestions. But yeah, we definitely need to get employees on the same level, because it's just the best thing for the store, and the better the employees are doing, the better we look, better the company does. It's all one hand washing the other. Alright, let's keep this under 10. Bye, guys.